That's interesting, because a lot of Shakespearean text is in verse. And if we think about verse as sort of a heightened version of the language, Romeo and Juliet, for example, most famous lovers of all time, yes? They speak to each other only in verse, as opposed to, for example, Bottom in A Midsummer Night's Dream, who's very much an actor, a real person, someone down to earth, who speaks in, can someone tell me the opposite name? Begins with a P. Prose. And so, okay, well, prose is how we speak in the real world. Prose means there's no rules, we can just speak. But then suddenly we start speaking in poetry. If you had to take a guess as to why a character would speak in poetry or in a high style, what might it be? Go on.
Maybe there's someone of like greater like significance to the like in the hierarchy of like say Macbeth or whatever. Like King Duncan would probably speak in that, but I'm not sure compared to Macbeth because he's corrupt and that he might not.
That's brilliant. So it could say about status. It could make someone sound more royal. That's a brilliant answer. What else could it do? Romeo and Juliet being an example. Suddenly, if they start speaking in perfect poetry.
To show that they're in love.
100%. It becomes lyrics. It becomes a love poem. Now, you mentioned Macbeth just, and I think we're okay to say Macbeth because we're in a dance studio rather than a theatre. That's fine. It's unlucky to say it in the theatre. But in Macbeth, when he's calm and not murdering anyone or like hallucinating, Macbeth speaks in perfect verse. And then he doesn't sleep for 4 days. And then he kills someone and kills another someone and kills 7 people. Suddenly he stops speaking verse. So we're spot on. When we're in verse, it's a clue in the text to tell us a little something about our character. And as we come to your speeches, I want you to work out whether you think they're speaking, I guess, fake, whether they're being real, or whether they're being poetic for a reason. So that's the first thing to say. No one in Shakespearean study is poetry for no reason. Good musical theatre, people only start singing when they can't speak anymore. Because speaking isn't good enough anymore. Would you mind